I'd say the hardest thing about doing these videos is knowing exactly what I'm going to say since I don't do scripts and I don't read from any like teleprompter or anything. But basically, the reason why I want to make this really short video is because I keep getting a lot of comments and I get a lot of questions from people asking about where they should be putting their money in the market and whether it's too late to go into certain assets and whatnot. Now, I want to just start out and get this out of the way just by talking about crypto really quick because I find it so like funny that for the last 3 or 4 years, you've heard wild claims, wild assertions about the prices of these things, where these things were going. And when all of a sudden now you end up in yet another bear market, never ever hitting the price targets you promised. We've been since 2018, they were promising Bitcoin would be $1 million by now. Back in 2018, all you got to do is you go on YouTube and you look up when Bitcoin first hit in 2018. It first started hitting its highs in 2017, 2018 by January. They were making all these wild claims. It would be $100,000 by the end of 2020. It would be 100,000. Crazy ass claims. I make fun of them all the time. Then there were the Ethereum claims. Oh yeah, Ethereum's going to be $10,000, and then you're going to have XRP. It's going to be $1,000, and Cardano's going to be $100. I've heard so many wild claims. A lot of times, what I do is to copy paste them and I put them in my community chat just so I can make fun of them. But the only reason why we really saw a huge boost in these things is because we had the pandemic and because there were a lot of people, specifically children on YouTube, who were watching YouTube, watching they claim everybody's claiming they get Lamborghinis and this, that, and other. And then you had a lot of people on Reddit and you had a lot of people on Facebook. All of a sudden, everybody turned into a crypto guru. All of a sudden, you're getting all these emails from people trying to get you to invest in crypto, Forex, and all this bullshit. And what I find so amazing about it is now that you see that all of their targets have failed, all of a sudden they're so quiet. Like if you listen really carefully, you can't hear any of them talking. They're really, real quiet. Real quiet. Everybody's real quiet. Everybody was talking about, oh yeah, Bitcoin's gonna be $100,000 by the end of the summer. Quiet. All I hear is quiet. I could hear a mouse fart right now because it's so quiet. It's so quiet. I heard all these Reddit people talking about GameStop going to the moon and AMC is going to Pluto and all this, and now it's real, real, real quiet. Real quiet. Not to belabor my point, yeah, they're still in a bear market. There's no more welfare checks coming. Biden backed off of that student loan repayment forbearance and said, "Yeah, guess what? Y'all about to start paying." So all of that's basically telling these people now, yeah, I better start saving my money because the gambling time is over. So there's the casinos closed, gambling's over for right now. So some of the crypto whales pulled their money out as soon as they could get this shit above 60, what was it, like 60, 65? They pulled their money as much as they could pull out at once, and they cashed everybody else out. Now, first of all, before I move on, do I believe in cryptocurrency? Well, I have to believe it exists because there's over 15,000 of them at this point. In fact, it kind of reminds me of the video game crisis in Japan back in the 80s. What happened was you had an overflow of low quality video games and there was money going in every which way. And because of that, it actually caused a crisis, they call it, because the problem is it was a bubble and you had a bubble in video games. And what ended up happening is they didn't get out of that bubble until you had one really good system come along, which was the NES. Cryptocurrency has its own bubble that's pretty much just the same way. And in their bubble, you have over 15,000 cryptocurrencies right now. And for the most part, the vast majority of them, like basically 98% of them, are garbage. And a lot of them are memes, meme coins, or whatever you want to call them. And my bottom line for saying all this is that if you're planning on quote unquote investing, you need to have a plan. And whether it's a 10-year plan, a 15-year plan, or a 20-year plan, you need to have a plan. especially if you're a young person who's just entered the workforce. And cryptocurrency shouldn't really be part of your investment plan. There are other things you should be investing in. For one thing, you should be making sure you have a house. Now, I think that goes without saying because you can't live in your mommy's basement forever. You can't live in daddy's attic forever. You need to make sure you have a house. Now, considering interest rates are very low right now and the Federal Reserve doesn't look like they're going to be able to raise rates anytime soon without crashing the economy, we've just passed, what is it, $29 trillion? What's the national debt clock? We've already passed $29 trillion in national debt. And despite the fact that these people want you to believe that oh my God, it's 29 trillion and we're already up to 38 billion there. Damn. Per citizen, that means that there's an implicit mortgage on your head of $87,000. Debt per taxpayer is $229,000. And the U.S. student loan debt, where's that? It's over here somewhere. It's in red. Per student, 40,979. Student loan debt is still 1.7 trillion, but obviously it's still going up. So, bottom line is, these people want you to believe that the dollar's crashing and that the banks are failing. All of that is far from the truth. The reality is that I do believe that there may be a digital currency in the future that the U.S. government makes alongside the U.S. dollar. But what I can promise you is that Bitcoin will never take over the country as a fucking cryptocurrency. The only thing you'll ever see is Bitcoin crumbs because, as you know, it's limited to about, 21 million in the blockchain or whatever. So the only thing you can really do is fight over Bitcoin crumbs. See, at least with the U.S. dollar and the debt standard, at least they can print pretty much as they want until they end up having a currency crisis. At that point, they'll just move on to something else. So yeah, there probably will be a digital dollar. I think China already has a digital yuan that they're testing out, and I'm pretty sure Russia will probably have like a digital something, a ruble, digital euro, whatever. But the reality is that's so far into the future at this point that you don't have to worry about it. What you really need to do is get yourself some hard assets that appreciate. One of which is real estate. Right now, if you can get a 15 or 20-year mortgage, however old you are, you can be, if you've got a job to pay it, you could be finished paying that off and have yourself a piece of property in 15 or 20 years. The other thing you should be looking for is dividend-paying stocks, which I'm going to get to again in a minute because I'm not going to be very long on this. I belabor this point all the time. Warren Buffett, he made his money, and his investment strategy has been relatively simple. What he does is he goes and he gets dividend-paying stock from companies that he trusts, and he basically treats them like it's a glorified savings account because, as you know, the banks aren't really paying you anything. The banks are giving you less than 1% interest. Meanwhile, there's plenty of dividend-paying stocks that pay you more than 1% on your money for every share that you have. So no matter how you slice it, you're winning compared to the banks. But as you can see, this is Warren Buffett, and this is him in his used Cadillac, and it looks like somebody wrote something on the dashboard right here. That might have been him because he's got a marker here, and it looks like somebody's writing something there. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a signal for help or something. I don't know. But anyway, Warren Buffett scored 3,000% gains in electric car stock without Rivian or Tesla. Here are 3 EV stocks flying under Wall Street's radar. Now, my thing is, when these news channels post, oh, these are the 3 stocks or these are the 5 stocks you should know about, I take all of that with a grain of salt because, as you know, in the stock market, there's a rule that says buy on the rumor, sell on the fact. If these guys are reporting about it, then that means that you're already at the fact. It's no longer a rumor. So there are plenty of companies that you could be buying in or that you should have bought in already because I've been telling you about this for the last 2 years. Since the crash, I've been telling you since the crash about companies to get into. I told you to get into the airlines while they were at their lowest. I told you to get into the automotive companies, Ford, GM, Chrysler, so forth and so on. I told you to get these electric car companies because I knew, and I also told you to get lithium mining. And I also told you to get oil companies when they went negative. But it says Rivian Automotive, which debuted on Nasdaq at $78 per share, continues trading near 100. Lucid, which went public through SPAC deal, remains up 55% over the past 2 months. I was telling you about Lucid. I even made a video where I went to Lucid and looked at one of their cars that, they didn't have any working models at the time. But I looked at the car. It looked like a pretty decent Tesla Model S option. And then you also have these other companies, like you've got Fisker coming with their new SUV called the Ocean, which, in fact, I might be able to show you that right now. Fisker Ocean. So they got all these electric cars coming. They got so many electric cars. And this looks like it'll do pretty well because right now everybody is desperate to get an SUV because they need that extra space for their children, usually if they have 1 or 2 children. And the thing about it is electric SUVs, chances are those are going to age a lot better than gas cars because they have fewer parts. The main thing you have to worry about replacing is the battery, but most of these cars will have a battery warranty of some type just to entice you to buy them. So there's a lot of opportunity when the electric car market, because the thing about it is the governments have mandated that these cars go electric. Now, you know that if the governments are mandating it, especially the authoritarian governments like China here, the governments are telling you this is what we're going to do. That is where you should be focusing your money. Anything related to electric vehicles, electric vehicle stock, electric vehicle charging points, all of that stuff. The government told you this is what it is. This is the law. And unlike in America where we argue and we bullshit and we give shitty jail sentences that are jokes, in China, when they say we're going to get it done, they get it done. In America, you can't get shit done at all because you got Democrats, Republicans, and then you have an uneducated public who's really stupid. So no, in China, they don't play that shit. If you're Xi Jinping or Hu Jintao or whatever, and you say, yeah, guess what? We're going to get it done. That's it. That's it. Anybody who wants to get up here, start some shit, you're going to get a bullet in the back of your head. That's how they deal with it. So that's just the difference between these two countries. One of them throws you in jail for life if you're a murderer, and the other one just executes you. I love it. I love the contrast. So, that's just what it is. So they're already telling you in China, it's like, yo, guess what? This entire population, 1.4 billion people, we're putting all of you in electric cars, period. So you know what that tells me? That tells me that there's a huge market in China specifically, but then also you go over to India, gigantic, huge market for electric vehicles of people who are steadily increasing wealth, steadily getting out of poverty, while America's simultaneously going into poverty. These people are coming out of poverty while America's going into poverty. So they're telling you, listen, we're going to get it done. We're going to have charging points. We're going to have cities of the future. We're going to have electric cars charging on wireless grids and everything. Meanwhile, Americans will still be fighting over bullshit. That's what we'll be doing. So that's the future over there. Fuck it. Dubai's got flying taxis and shit. They trying to do some Minority Report. What are we doing over here? Your children are going to the store, buying digital crack pipes and smoking weed before they cut class. That's what your children are doing. Well, over there, no. What did China do? China said, oh, guess what? You're not playing any video games on Friday night. And not only that, you're not live streaming your scooch for OnlyFans. You're not doing that anymore. You're going to do something that adds to the society. We're not going to let y'all just whore yourselves out and drug yourselves up. We're not going to let you do that. But not in America. See, over here in America, the relationships are falling apart. The birth rate's going down. China just said, oh, y'all can have 3 children now. They said, forget the one-child policy. Y'all can have 3 children now. How about America? What are y'all doing? Y'all fighting over custody? Y'all busy going back and forth to divorce court? That's what you're doing. So everybody's moving beyond you, and you can't figure out why they're moving beyond you. Well, because they actually respect their time, they respect work, and they respect money. So I respect money, I respect time, I respect work, and that's why it's so easy to, earn. Because some people understand it, some people just don't. Some people waste their money on Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. Did Shiba Inu go Super Saiyan?
Did Dogecoin get to the moon? No, it did not. In fact, they didn't even get past Earth orbit. They couldn't even get out of Earth orbit. Safe moon ain't safe. Safe Mars. How y'all doing, huh? Y'all invested all that time, energy, money, and work into this. This is your legacy. There you are. There you are. So, NIO, they've been delivering their cars. They got all types of shit planned. All types of stuff. They're going to put every last one of those 1.4 billion people. They're going to put all those Indians. They're going to put them all. Bangladesh. They're going to put them all. Southeast Asia. They're going to put them all in these electric cars. And they're telling you exactly what they're going to do. But y'all are busy investing in Squid Coin. Xpeng right here. Done told you about, and it bothers me so much. They're telling you what's happening. You're not even paying attention. You're busy. Oh no, we're going to the moon. We're going to Dogecoin. We're going to get to $1. We're going to get Shiba Inu to a penny because it's going Super Saiyan. That's what y'all busy doing. That's what you're busy doing. Everybody's moving past you. Everybody's laughing at the Americans. Moving past you, just laughing. Just laughing. Sad. It's really sad. Everybody else is moving right past you, too. But that's what Warren Buffett was doing. He was getting his money off these EV stocks. That's what he was doing. He was getting money on EV stocks, and he was getting money on dividend-paying companies. Like I had tried. I did my best. I made lists for you like this one. All the stocks that I hold that pay dividends. Do you understand that when you get paid dividends, it's even better than the bank offers because you get paid at a faster rate, especially when you own lots and lots of dividend-paying stocks that you purchased at lows. Because if you had gotten your money in when the stock crashed, you could have bought just about everything. In fact, they were showing all these stats that showed that if you had bought in during the crash, it almost didn't even matter what you picked, you were going up. Like you were going to either double your money or triple your money. Obviously, because you were getting in at the lowest possible, price that you could get in. But that's the thing. It all depended where you invested your time, energy, work, and money. So when I'm talking about owning real estate, it's like you don't have to have the biggest house on the block. You just have to have a house. You just have to have a piece of land, something that's going to appreciate. And if you don't like that place later on, you can always rent it out to Airbnb. They'll pay you money there to displace any Americans that get like displaced who are members of Airbnb. Airbnb, and I made a video about this not long ago. Airbnb is offering you money to hold these people in your house, to rent out rooms to them, to rent out houses to them. Airbnb is offering you money right now to take Afghani citizens and shit and put them in there. And I've tried. So as far as my dividend picks, I am going to eventually make a new list for 2022. But for right now, this holding list that I have has been serving me very well. Every single month, I'm getting dividends out of this because everybody has a different dividend payment date. So every now and then, I'll open up my account and I'll see $30 here, $40 here, $50 here. The biggest one I saw was $300 from Fiat Chrysler. I put that in one of my videos. Just like if you look through my videos of where I talk about dividends and I show off that part of this YouTube portfolio, you'll see it. The YouTube portfolio is the only one I show off because my Charles Schwab account, I would prefer to keep my amount that I have in there private because you got a lot of people who have no shame at all. They'll be begging you for money. So, they right here, they can see that I've got like 29,000 after I cashed out money to go to Maldives and to fly business class on Emirates coming up this April. I have a new video that I'll be making. And they also can see the fact that I'm wasting a lot of money that they couldn't on iPhone and shit. So my thing is, you get a lot of people who be begging you for money, and I really don't even want to entertain that because the thing about it is, it's like I just don't want to entertain that. So it's you never really let everybody know everything you got, but it's important that for my YouTube portfolio that I be completely I'd be completely transparent. So This is where I come on TD Ameritrade to make my lists to show you the best investment opportunities. There were some people who wanted to invest in 5G. I said, you know what? Just go straight to the cell phone companies: T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, and I think there was somebody else. I forgot who it was. But if you go straight for the biggest cell phone companies, you don't need to go after the actual individual tech companies because they stretch too far. They stretch too thin. These guys, AT&T is paying you an 8.7% dividend. No bank is paying you that. When I was a kid in the 80s, the highest interest I ever saw was 10%, and that was Republic National Bank. You can't get that out of any bank right now because they're not doing it. And that's AT&T paying you per share 8.7%. And if you had bought in when I told you to, you would have gotten it at the low, and you would have gotten a bunch of shares of AT&T. Same thing goes for these oil companies. I've been talking about those forever. Sunoco, Exxon, BP, Shell. It's like the houses need heating oil. The houses need propane. The houses need gas deliveries. Who do you think is pumping all that shit out of the earth? Who do you think is doing the discovery? Even if they electrify the cars, you're still going to need gas and oil. It's like, and these companies, these guys know that the future is coming. These guys are diversified. They're diversifying themselves. That's why BP is called Beyond Petroleum. I mean, they tell you right up front what they're doing. They're looking to do anything they can do in order to diversify themselves. But it's incredible. Y'all would rather invest in SafeMoon. It's incredible. It's just incredible. So I continue to say the exact same thing. Oil, banks that pay dividends, bank stocks, and automotive. Because as you saw with even the pandemic, the automotive companies did not shut down. All they did was they retooled in order to make PPE. And after they felt that wave of COVID was over, what did they do? They went right back to making cars, and everybody's more profitable right now making cars. They're selling their cars over sticker because they're so profitable. These car companies are not even selling at a loss right now. They're selling over sticker. And then you look at the bottom, and this is the other thing. The tech companies, Car and Driver made a article right here about the problem that the automotive industry was facing with these chips. The computer chips are required by cars now because just about every single feature in these cars is computerized. And when you go to the luxury car industry, it gets even worse because they need even double the amount of computers. They need double the amount of electric motors because in a luxury car, there's things that are motorized that you normally wouldn't see, like in a regular car. If you get like one of these piece of shit little ass Chevys, they don't have motorized headrests and they don't have like motorized armrests and cushions and shit. They don't have massage seats. But when you go to the luxury market, everything's got motors. Everything's got electrification of some type. They've got computer controls, relays. The silicon market is going to be even bigger. And that's why I was telling people, I did my best. I told people to buy AMD, buy NVIDIA, buy Intel. I did my best. Where's my tech stocks here? I told everybody. I did my best. If I sort them for dividend yield, NVIDIA, GE, Apple, Microsoft, Logitech, I told everybody. Logitech, AMD, when those things were lower than $50, I was like, yo, guys, get in on this. Get in on Microsoft. They got everybody stuck in their subscription plans. You got to pay them a subscription just to play your damn Xbox. I told people about Apple. Listen, big money goes to Apple because they know that if they put their money in Apple, it's safe. They know it's safe because Apple has a consumer base that's not going anywhere. Apple has a subscriber base that's not going anywhere. But y'all wanted to invest in Dogecoin. Y'all wanted to invest in Dogecoin, though. So I can't fight forever. I can't fight forever. Eventually, I get tired. I can't fight forever. Eventually, I got to lay down my gun. Got to go to sleep. But you got all these opportunities, all these companies, these tech companies. These guys are gonna, if they're not involved in electric vehicles, these guys are gonna be one way or another involved in tech, making computers, making these silicon chips. That's what you should be looking for. Semiconductor industries that are starting up in order to address the shortage of semiconductor chips. They want to make sure that this never happens again. So what's going to end up happening is you're going to end up with another bubble. You're going to end up with a very rapid growth in silicon because you need these SSD chips for everything. You need DDR5 memory. You're going to see rapid growth, and then eventually there'll be a lull and it'll start to go down again. But you got to understand, these computers, these laptops in these classrooms, they all need these damn chips. The cars all need these chips. They're going to have cars that drive themselves. They've already shown you what they're going to do. They're going to have cars driving themselves. They're going to need these chips. That's how you make your money. So basically for me, I've basically designed for myself a 10-year plan, because basically I'm looking ahead and saying this is how I planned on investing my money for the next 10 years, because in exactly 10 years from now I'm going to retire. Now, what I do after I retire, I might stay in America. If I don't stay in America, I'm going to be in the Philippines. I'm going to have some nice young chick serving me buko juice on the beach in the Philippines, and I'm going to be living on less than $2,000 a month while the rest of y'all are here busting your ass for this system that's here. I won't be here. I'm going to be an American expat living in either Thailand, Vietnam, or the Philippines. I'm going to have me a nice young chick serving me the buko juice, and I'm going to be just chilling. I've got relatives who've retired, and they're workaholics, and they felt they had to go right back to work. They have money. They got pensions. They got Social Security coming in, but they're workaholics in their minds. Like these women with these PhDs in my family. All these women now got PhDs. I don't know what that's about. They buying all these goddamn PhDs. I refuse to call them doctor, number one. I don't call them doctor. The only people I call doctor, you should do this too. Unless somebody's a medical doctor, a MD, you should not call them a doctor. That's the reason why, because these women, they have these egos where they need you to call them doctor to feel self-validation. Don't do it. Don't call them doctor. Now, if they start that shit, but they'd be like, oh, well, if you don't call me doctor, then you don't refer to me at all. Okay, bye. Don't talk to them. They're taking out all this money in order to go to these schools, in order to run up the student loan debt. What's that student loan debt? Where's that national debt clock? Where are we again? What's that student loan debt from all these I'm a PhD. Well, what's that? What's that? Fuck it. It's 40,979 per student, 1.7 trillion. It'll be 2 trillion within the next 3 years. That's where their PhDs coming from. It's coming from your taxpayer money from student loans that the government is fronting. That's where it's coming from. Don't call them doctor. If you remember nothing that I say, don't call them doctor. If they're an MD, oh, by all means, they're a doctor. If they can fix bones and set cuts and they can heal people, like Dr. Pimple Popper, who's cutting fucking acne off of people, that's different. Those people deserve the highest respects. But these people with these fake ass PhDs, oh yeah, I got a PhD in underwater basket weaving and all that shit. Don't call these motherfuckers doctors. Don't do it. Because all you're doing is feeding their ego. Don't do it. And if you stop, if the whole nation stops, I guarantee you, they'll stop with this bullshit national debt, with the student loans. They'll stop, because at that point they won't see any point in it, because they'll be like, oh, well, if they won't call me a doctor, I'm not going to do any hard work and be an MD. If they won't call me doctor, then there's no point in me getting a stupid degree. So that means they'll stop spending the money, because nobody will respect the shit. So that's how you deal with these people. That's how you deal with them. So, what was I saying? Yes, as far as the semiconductor and tech industry, this is where you need to be putting your money. You can go after the cheapest stocks if you want, but the bottom line is, if you're going to go after cheap stocks, I would go after the dividend payers. And that's the thing. These tech companies are going to be with us for a long time, because these guys don't want to disappear, so they're going to keep diversifying themselves. And man, these banks, they're going to be with us for a long time. I kept telling everybody, when these banks hit rock bottom during that pandemic, I was like, yo, guys, get these banks. I kept saying it, get these banks, get this oil. But y'all wanted to buy Squid Coin. Y'all wanted to invest your money Y'all wanted to invest your money in Bitcoin Cash. That's where you invest. That's where you put your money. That's why you've lost half of it. Where was Bitcoin Cash? Where was it? Oh, I'm sorry. Where was it? Where was it a year ago? Oh, what was its high? Oh, yeah, it went as high as 1,000. What is it? 1,429, 1,642, and then now look where it is. You lost a third of your freaking money. Look at that shit. I tried. I did my best. I did my best. I told everybody. I tried to put them on game. I gave them the game for free. Unlike these fake ass YouTube gurus and CNBC and Fox Business, these fake Bitcoin pumpers constantly pumping Bitcoin. I was like, hey guys, this is bullshit. You need to look in this direction. But no. They wanted to invest in Safe Mars. That's what they wanted. They told me, oh no, you're stupid. The US dollar is gonna sink. No, that doesn't make any sense. Come on over here. We're gonna get this instead. We're gonna get Loopring. We're gonna get New Cipher. We're gonna get Cardano. We're gonna get Polymath. We're going to the moon. We're going to Pluto. Have you gotten to the moon yet? Have you gotten to Pluto yet? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. And it's sad because there's just so many of these damn things. None of them have any real world use case scenarios. None of them. I mean, if you try to smuggle drugs and you need to be able to make payments to some Nigerian prince who's trying to launder money, okay, maybe then they have a use case scenario. But me personally, I don't know anybody in Africa. I don't know anybody in South America. I'm not trying to transfer money to any of these losers. So as far as I'm concerned, there's no use case scenario. And if I really needed to send them money, I just pay them on Western Union. Fuck it. Yeah, it's a $9, $10 transaction fee. But the thing about it is, I wouldn't be risking my principal, you know. But y'all listen. At the end of the day, y'all put your money right where you want to put it. Buy some Stellar Lumens. Yeah, buy some Stellar Lumens. Buy some Litecoin. I hear you can pay Korean prostitutes with that. Yeah, it's like Y'all keep on hoping and dreaming. I'll tell you what. I'm waiting for Bitcoin to hit $100,000. Yeah. Wait, do me a favor. When Bitcoin hits $100,000, I want you to wake me up. But in that amount of time, I want you to count the amount of money that you could have earned by getting these dividend stocks. Just like my friend over here. What's his name? Warren Buffett. See that you have a choice to make. It's like, do you want to have a retirement? Do you want to have a paid off house that you can live in and you can leave it to your children and they don't have to pay a mortgage? They only have to pay for maintenance and utilities. Is that what you want? Do you want to have stuff, or do you just want all of your assets to be digital assets that you can't touch that could drop 30% in the last month? It's like, what do you want? You have to make a plan. And I'll tell you what, from now on, when I make any little financial stock watch videos, that's what I'm going to be focusing on. I'm going to be focusing on the plan. Do you have a 10-year plan? Do you have a 15-year plan? What do you think you're going to be doing in 20 years? Do you have a plan? That's the key. Do you have a plan? Because chances are you don't have a plan. And that's the reason why so many of you are interested and attracted to cryptocurrency. Because as far as you're concerned, you don't need a plan for these. All you got to do is just dump money in and hodl and wait and just hold on for dear life. That's a recipe for disaster. Because in the long run, this plan isn't a good plan. It's just not a good plan. I don't know how better to say it. Just tossing money into a pit and hoping that someday it turns into a lottery ticket. That's basically what you're doing. And the sad thing is, even if they told you tonight that you had just made $1 million off of Cardano, you'd probably still waste every fucking dime of it simply because you had no plan. And that's the sad thing about it. But I'm not going to belabor this point. So all I'm just going to say is that's what you need to do. You need to have a plan. You need to decide what you want to be doing in the next 10 years, what you want to do over the next 10 years with your money. The younger you are, the more time you have to plan. But I'll tell you one thing, eventually they're going to raise Social Security taxes just to be able to afford Social Security. They're also, one of the other sneaky things the government does is they reduce Social Security benefits by lying about how much inflation there is, because Social Security payouts are linked to inflation. So if they lie to you and tell you that this inflation is transitory and it's not a problem, they're only doing that because this way they don't have to pay you much Social Security. So what they're basically saying is, yeah, we'll give you less Social Security and you just have to make do. You can go on welfare if you need to, but I'm not living like that. I'm not living like that. If I have to pack my shit and move to Manila and live like a king on $2,000 a month, then that's what I'll do. If I have to go to Vietnam and live on $15 a day, then that's what I'll do. I'm not living like that. I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be in Tent City in California, living on the street, taking shits in front of Starbucks. I'm not going to be in New York hoping that Section 8 will give me a place to live so that I don't freeze to death in this 40-degree weather. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. So if y'all want to keep playing games and playing around, well, y'all keep playing right around with Safe Moon and Safe Mars and all that. Because I'll tell you one thing, it's really cold on Mars. It's a lot colder than it is here. And a lot of people don't even understand that. But yeah, it's cold on Mars. And I don't think you ever get to Mars, number one. You're not getting to the moon. You're not getting to Jupiter. You're not getting to Mars. You're not getting to Pluto. It's like, my thing is, y'all need to make a plan. And y'all need to plan what y'all plan on doing. Because if y'all don't start planning, you're going to find yourself right out there in the cold. Right out there in the cold. And that's how it is.